Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It's Friday. It's the Shankly Sessions, the Liverpool podcast we bring you as part of the Upper Tier. If you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, and of course, drop a like on the video. We would really appreciate it. We've got a big night of sport here tonight ahead of us here. Lots going on all around me here, but the main body of work is the Shankly Sessions. It's the Crystal Palace preview, a massive game for the Reds. Massive, arguably the biggest game of the season so far. I know we played Arsenal at home, but this is a tough away game. It's a tough ground that we tend to go to. It hasn't been a happy hunting ground all the time, and a lot on the line here. Crystal Palace going into this with I think it's a 19 game unbeaten run at the moment they're on, or something like that. Something incredible. The job Oliver Glasner has done there has been absolutely incredible, while losing key players to bigger teams. But a fantastic start to the season for Crystal Palace. I think 3 wins, 3 draws in their last 6 games, and we're all the W's, as you know. But just to bring up the speed on the League of Ireland, huge game tonight. Big Dublin derby there at the moment. Shamrock Rovers have just taken the lead against Bohemians. Burke with the goal on 12 minutes. The only other goal to report is Shelbourne have gone 1-0 up. Coote has scored against Waterford. So they're the only 2 goals tonight. We will keep you fully up to date on that. Just in the chat, big up, Warren. How are you, my friend? All good, my friend, all good. Just to let you know, in the Ryder Cup, folks, if you're a golf fan, and you know the way we talk about golf being a gentleman's sport, tune into this Ryder Cup. Betpage Black, this unbelievable tournament, the Ryder Cup. Raucous New York crowd, of course, as you know. It's something like I think it's located something like 50 minutes in Times Square or something like that. But the morning went to the Europeans winning a 3-1. At the moment, they're up into and down into Rory and Shane Lowry on the bottom one there, 1 up. Rams, who's having a fabulous start to the Ryder Cup, 2 up, and then Deshaun Bay and Griffin 1 up against Fleetwood and Tommy Fleetwood and Justin Rose. I think they'll pull that one back. And Oberg and Højgaard are 2 down to Thomas and Cam Young. Going to be very, very tough for them to get back into that. They don't seem to be firing. There's a lack of belief in there. Also struggling to deal with this golf crowd, this New York crowd. Obviously in the afternoon, they've gotten out there on the sauce. So the sauce is starting to kick in. And this is as good as it gets. This is football terrace stuff here. This for golf, which is so unusual. A lot of these players won't be used to that atmosphere, especially some of the debuts. But we'll see, can they pull it back at the moment. As it stands at the moment, you'd be looking at 5-3. That's what you would be looking going into day 2. But we keep an eye on that throughout the night for you as well as things go. Any chance of another 9-0 win for Liverpool? Warren, I'll tell you, man, that would make my weekend, as they say. Absolutely make my weekend. Just to let you know, another goal gone in. Galway United have taken the lead against Cork City. We'll bring you details on that as it comes to us, but it's 1-0 to Galway. Just scored there, I think, in the 19th minute. Just coming up to sort of 17 to 20 minutes gone in these games as well. Drogheda and Derry, the top game at the moment, 0-0. But obviously all eyes are on Rovers and Bohemians. A loss tonight, Rovers are as good as crown champions. I know they have it in the bag anyway, but if they win tonight, they would be in touching distance. And I'm sure Bradley and the boys would like to get it done early, so all their focus can be on Europe. So let's see how that goes. But we'll keep you on that, and always. Right, let's get into this. Crystal Palace, Selhurst Park. Not a happy hunting ground for Liverpool. As you know, some really unbelievable matches that have been there. We remember Stevie crying. We remember Suarez crying, pushing the cameras away. Thought we had it won, all this kind of thing. Lots of stuff going on there, lots of history. But this feels going in like a big game. Liverpool, absolutely incredible so far this season in terms of the results and in terms of the points. Absolutely all the W's. But we're still looking for that performance, aren't we? We've seen little bits of it kind of here, there, 20 minutes at the start, 20 minutes in the middle, last 20 minutes of this half, first 20 minutes of that half. But we haven't really seen a real 90-minute performance yet. Sure, we haven't. And obviously there's been lots of changes of personnel, change of playing style, and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to talk about that tonight. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who you think the lineup is going to be, what changes are going to be there, why you think those changes are what's going to happen. We're also going to talk about obviously Crystal Palace. Absolutely fantastic, doing a stellar job at the moment there, Glasner. Don't think he'll be at Palace for a long time. I think somehow. Keith's in there, my bro. How are we at Warren? I'll take a 1-0 for Liverpool. A very difficult side to play. Absolutely. I hope you are well. Yes, absolutely, my friend. So where do we begin? Let's start with the press conference today from the gaffer, and let's have a bit of a discussion about that. So we will begin with on whether Isaac is ready to start against Palace. I think that's a question that kind of answered itself based on what happened with Ekitike the other night, getting sent off after pulling the jersey off. Just a moment of madness, just a brain fart kind of thing. So Isaac will definitely start this game. The question is, can he get 60 minutes, 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes? How many minutes can he push it for? Obviously, with games coming thick and fast now. And I think we've Chelsea at the bridge after this as well in the Premier League, not to mention European football. It's Galatasaray, I think, isn't it? So lots of football coming up, lots of football we played. So obviously being conscious of that. But the Premier League is the bread and butter, and that's where it's important and stuff like that. So I think he started where he's talking. He says, yeah, he's able to make minutes again. I still feel 90. Depends also on the pace and the intensity of the game. We know this is going to be an intense game. Pace, I think, might be a little bit different because obviously with them losing Eberici Esse and players like that, well, some of that pace has come out of it a little bit. But I think definitely it will be intense, especially in the middle of the park there. And we'll talk about the lineups and what my thinking was behind that and stuff like that. I don't think we're going to go with the 4-2-3-1. I think we're going to go slightly different because I think this is really a game. We talk about it all the time, where games are won and lost in the midfield. But if there was ever a game that's won and lost in the midfield, and we seen it at the game at Anfield that time that we lost, I was at that game. That midfield of Wharton and Hughes and stuff like that, absolutely exceptional. And then we're obviously going to talk about Munoz and Tarek Mitchell and how good they've been playing as well as wingers and all that kind of stuff. So we will get into that. So yeah, so the concern from the gaffer is we'll have to see how many minutes he can take and then see what the options are there and stuff like that. So we shall see what happens. On the red card, Ekitike received the midweek. A lot of talk going on about this, like kind of like, would the boy be fined 2 weeks' wages and stuff like that? I said it the other day in a podcast. Like, it's a bit harsh to find the lad 2 weeks' wages. He just had a brain fart. He scored a goal at the top end to win a cup game and stuff like that. And everyone's going, oh, but it's only Southampton now. But that doesn't matter. That's only Southampton. You still have to win. But yeah, a difficult one, obviously. And he knows how silly he was. You could see Boy walking off and stuff like that. The gaffer's making the point, look, we're not going to start finding people for making a mistake like that and stuff like that's, everyone's entitled to make a mistake, but learn from it and stuff like that. Good news coming out this week as well that if there is good news, obviously Leone doing the ACL and all was very, very tough on the young lad and all. And I did say on last night's show that the one positive from it, basically, if you can find a positive in it, is the fact that he has Virgil van Dijk there to lean on, who has gone right through this. So he'll be able to guide the young lad and stuff like that and give him advice on what to do and stuff like that. And I'm sure even since Virgil's, it has gotten better and better how they deal with it. But tough on the young lad who was having a really, really good game and really, really looks the part as well. But it's unlikely we're going to see him much, if all, this season, which means we're going to be going into the market in January, no doubt, for a defender. I know Reece Williams is back in there now and obviously Joe Gomez and stuff like that. But, any kind of problem with Konate and Virgil van Dijk now, we would have a real problem, Where am I? Where's my mouse? There we go. How do you think the gaffer will deal with the suspension of Ekitike? I think he's just gonna. I think he's gonna revert to a 4-3-3. That's what I'm thinking, and I think he's gonna pack the midfield. I think in order to deal with that midfield, you're gonna have to have supposedly like Gravenberch and McAllister in there. And we will cover the lineups and stuff like that and all, but I think if kind of Mo and Cody can do a lot of the work that needs to be done in there, and Isaac can just keep himself nearly playing like that Holland role where you're not doing a huge amount of work, but you're ready to go and score the goals when the opportunity comes. I think we might be able to squeeze a bit more minutes out of him, And then what we could do is obviously on Tuesday when we play Galatasaray, we can just go in maybe with Ekitike there and maybe bring Isaac on as a sub or something like that. So we could switch it around. So hopefully not too bad. Yeah, it is one of these stupid rules and stuff like that and all, you know what I mean? But the rules are there for everyone, and he broke the rule. It's just a brain fart, just a moment of madness and stuff like that, Let's get an update out of the Irish League as well. Still 3 goals in there. Shelbourne 1-0 up. Shamrock Rovers 1-0 up against Bows. And Galway 1-0 up against Cork. Drogheda Derry still 0-0. So, yeah, this is what he was talking about on Ekitike. Basically, he wasn't going to fine him, just it's a mistake. He knew it was a mistake and he apologised. On Palace's biggest threat. He says Palace's biggest threat is discipline. They have an enormous discipline defensively. 10 outfield players plus a goalkeeper that works so hard to prevent the other team from scoring. We saw this also in the Community Shield. Even in the moments when we were up, they could still be very disciplined and calm in their own half. That's one thing we know about Crystal Palace is they don't panic, they don't suffer fools gladly, and they know how to defend as a unit. They move forward as a unit when the time comes, and they defend amazingly as a unit as well. You rarely see them opened up. The 3 boys at the back, we know how good Gay he is because he's hopefully incoming to us. We've wanted him, and it was a mistake not to get him in the summer. We left it too late. The Crow has been unbelievable, and the other boy Richards in there as well has been phenomenal as a back 3. We know how good Dean Henderson is. We know he's the top of the shithouse ladder, him and Pickford and stuff like that, and he will turn that on tomorrow as well. I watched him give Mo Salah dog's abuse for missing opportunities. It was insane. And it's mad when you're actually at the game and close enough to see these things. Even Darren will tell you he was at the game. To see how these guys operate on the pitch and the actual shithousery that they get up to is absolutely mad. What else have we got in the presser? On whether he has been surprised by Liverpool's start to the season. He says, surprise is maybe a bit too strong to say, but if you would have asked me after playing Newcastle away, Arsenal at home, and all these difficult games we had that we would have the maximum result, I would sign for that straight away. Of course he would. We might have been a bit lucky as well to get the maximum points, although I was just saying about the work rate of Palace. We work incredibly hard as well, and absolutely, there's no doubt about it. We know from this Liverpool team, under Arne Slot, they run until the final whistle, no matter what. So that's really, really important, and that's and that's part of why a lot of people call it luck. What rivals call luck, we call commitment. On Rio, of course, Ngoma signing his first professional contract with the club. He says the good thing is if you are a youngster playing at Liverpool, there are players you are playing with who are still better than you are. That I think helps to stay grounded and to know there are still steps to make. If you're playing at maybe a club of a lower level and you are as good as Rio, you maybe belong straight away to the best players of the team, and that can lead to maybe a situation where he's not as grounded as he should be. So we all know how talented this boy is. Signed up to the contract, he's been absolutely phenomenal when he's come in. And he could be the player tomorrow that plays an important part in this game against Crystal Palace. The opportunity for us at Crystal Palace tomorrow is to create an 8-point gap because we know Arsenal are away at Newcastle on Sunday. It's the Super Sunday as far as I know. So that will put that bit of pressure on Arsenal as well, because if Arsenal failed to beat Newcastle and we were to beat Crystal Palace, that's an 8-point gap between us. With 6 games gone, that is huge. Don't even try and play that down. Absolutely monstrous. What else at the end? They'll say no. That's basically it, really, from the presser. That was the guts of it, really. If we go in here and we check out sort of team news at the moment, we know Pino has come back, and we know Ismail Sarr is probably going to be available as well. So that will impact the lineup that I have here, because I've put Kamada in because he was the guy, but obviously Sarr might make it and they might put him in there. He's pivotal to what they do as well. Really, really good player at moving forward. So he will be important to them. His link up play with Mateta as well is very, very good. So yeah, he will probably go into the starting lineup, but he might not get full minutes. We could see Kamada introduced maybe on 50, 60 minutes, maybe, or something like that. So we'll take a look at that when we go to discuss the lineup. They are missing a couple of players. Check the Corey being the kind of main one. Edward is missing with an Achilles as well. Benitez with a finger issue. Riyad with a knee. We know the Corey is a knee. Korpta is a back issue as well. So they're missing these players. For us, obviously the ACL injury to Leone is very, very sad. And obviously we wish him well in his recovery. So he's going to be missing. And obviously Ekatike with the ban for the red card that carries through into the league from the Carabao Cup. So that's really your main team news there at the moment. But yeah, like I said, we have the unbeaten record at the moment going in there. Started the season unbeaten so far, and I think it's about ourselves. I think it might be only ourselves and Palace at the moment that still remain unbeaten. Us with a 100% record. Them, as I said, they've had 6 games, 3 wins, 3 draws, I think so. But solid form from Crystal Palace. So it's going to be an interesting one from that point of view tomorrow as well. Always a really good match. So when we look at the lineups, these are your lineups here at the moment. I'll bring them up now. There we go. So I'm looking at the Liverpool lineup here as well. A lot of talk. Some people have put in there that Dom would be in there at right back, and he may be. Kerkez on the left. You could go with a Kerkez or a Robbo. But obviously Kanate and Virgil in the middle, Becker at the back, obviously. I've gone for Dom in the middle of the park, and I've gone for a 4-3-3. The reason I've gone for the 4-3-3 is I think that battle in the middle of the park, I think it might be too much for 2 just to handle. And I know you get Mo dropping back in and Cody dropping back in, but I think we're going to need the 3 in there, and we're really going to need Dom's work right in there to allow Gravenberch to do what he does, both going forward and also in defence. So really important. And obviously have a Mac in there, but again, we'll have to see how many minutes he can get and stuff like that. It might be a case where we'll see Curtis Jones potentially. And then up front, Mo Salah on the right. Isaac, who apparently loves a goal against Crystal Palace. And then we have Cody Gakpo on the left. Let me get some comments in here before... I hope Verts will have a good performance tomorrow. I know he will probably need a bit more time, but I would like to see him opening the teams up a bit more now. Yeah, but this is not the game that opens teams up, Keith, because Palace don't tend to get opened up. So this is not the thing. I'd say what you will see is you will see the lineup that I'm talking about there, and I think Verts might come in. I think maybe second half, if we need to change it up a bit, then we might go back 4-2-3-1 and introduce Verts in there. I think that might be the way to go. I think if you put Verts in there from the start, I think he's going to struggle, because not only is he going to be up against their backline, he's also going to be up against a real feisty competitor in Hughes who will knock the living crap out of him. We've seen Hughes. Hughes doesn't suffer fools gladly. He takes guys and puts them up in the air. Big up, Jack. Hope you're good. Folks, make sure you're subscribing to Red Rain, Jack's new channel as well. Give him all the support you can. He's starting out on a new channel after losing his other channel, so look after him. Make sure you're going over there and you're subbing for him. Could you imagine if we didn't get Isaac during the summer and we only had Hugo after this red card? But the chances are, we don't know if the red card would have happened, do we? Yeah, up the fucking Reds, absolutely. Dan's will be Isaac's backup for tomorrow. Yeah, not a bad shout. Not a bad shout at all. And we probably will see him as well. We shall see. The other thing, he might just stick with what he has there, and he might just put Verts in the middle or something like that. Or he might even go crazy. He might switch Mo into the middle or something like that and maybe put Frimpong on the right and introduce Connor Bradley. Lots of options still there, you know. Lots of options. Cheers, Niall. I really appreciate that, my mate. Absolutely, 100%, Jack. So when I looked then as we've looked at Crystal Palace there, the ones for me, I mean, Mitchell has been unbelievable this season as well. He's having a phenomenal season. Mundo is very good on that side as well. 2 real dangerous wingers that we need to be aware of. We need to be about ourselves in this game tomorrow. This is going to be a hard fought 3 points if we want it. This is not going to be a rock up at Sellers Park and just do as we wish and stuff like that. This is not the way it operates in them. They don't suffer fools that way. Just let you know, folks, still all 1-0 in the League of Ireland and 0-0 in Drogheda and Derry. So it's as you were. I like the boy Kamada as well, another very dangerous player as well. But I think Sarr might start. Now, it could be different here. He might start with Kamada, depending on Sarr's fitness, and he might introduce Sarr second half. The boy Devaney as well, the young lad as well, has been a revelation as well. Even bro, what's the crack? All good, Baz. Hope you were good, my friend. Mateta up front needs no introduction for me and all. Everyone knows how big a Mateta fan I am. I wanted us to sign him. There was talk in the summer there. He was available for between 25 and 30 million. I was like, get on that now. Trying to win 4 competitions and stuff like that. That's who you need, a guy like that. Imagine tomorrow if our option when Isaac comes off was Mateta. Wow. It'd be really cool. Hughes and Wharton, obviously the big ones in there for me. I mean, Hughes, that absolute engine and destroyer in there. Wharton can do destroying as well, but also his eye for a pass and his box-to-box is insane. So a lot of danger in there, a lot of places where danger can come from. Players running from deep. Hughes and Wharton being really careful and sitting in there, protecting the back three as well when needed. Henderson doing his thing as well. We know how good a keeper he is as well. So goals are going to be difficult to come by tomorrow. Hoping that the Isaac run against Crystal Palace continues. Obviously, that was there when he was at Newcastle. Mo as well, hopefully continuing up his form as well. But we want to see. This is one of those games where I'd like to see a performance, but I'm not as worried about the performance as I am about just get the 3 points. Keep on just getting these 3 points and stuff like that. And it's going to take a massive effort tomorrow to get by Crystal Palace. They're not going to give up their unbeaten run that easy, especially at home. And we're going to have to really go at these boys in order to get that done. Warren Zimmer, the prediction, he's going 3-1. I would love that, Warren. I would be very happy with that. Just to let you know, at the moment, still 3-1 Europe. And it's as you are, Ram and Strack are 2 up. McElroy and Lowry are 2 up. Fleetwood and Rose are 1 down to DeChambeau and Griffin, and Young and Thomas are 2 up after 8 against Oberg and Højgaard. They need to just block that crowd out now and steady up. 8 holes in. The boy Spawn up the top as well is doing really, really well. Scheffler's kind of struggling and has struggled before in the Ryder Cups and stuff like that, and seems to be struggling again. He seems to be shouldering a bit. Seems a bit tense and stuff like that, but the boy Spawn is as loose as be damned. So yeah, so it's really shaping up. If Europe could just kind of pull back, maybe go 2.5, 1.5, maybe that would be amazing going into tomorrow. And let's see what tomorrow brings. But still a raucous crowd there, absolutely crazy and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. And just to let you know, still all the same in the League of Ireland. Let us know your predictions, folks, for tomorrow. Let us know your predictions for Crystal Palace, Liverpool. I'm kind of thinking in around. I think it might be tighter, Warren. I think it might be 2-1. I think it's going to be tighter. And I think it'll be 1-1 going into the latter stage with about 20 minutes ago. And I think Slot then might change it back into the 4-2-3-1. And that might deliver the winner because Palace might not be able to adjust to that. Let's see what happens. But as we do, always hopefully the Reds will win. That's the main thing. That's what we're pushing for here and stuff like that. Continue that good form. Not good form in terms of results, but not necessarily in terms of playing. I mean, we have played okay at times, as I said, but we've really, struggled at times and rode our luck and late goals and all this kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, should be a strong, good match. Shame it's at 3:00, but we'll still be able to watch it when you know. But should be a very good match. Really looking forward. The early one obviously is Brentford Man United. That should be pretty good. And then also you got Chelsea Brighton as well on at 3:00 as well. So a real festival of football tomorrow in the Premier League, that's for sure. Feels more like a Saturday in the Premier League. And then obviously the big one then on Sunday is Newcastle Arsenal. Pending this result. What will come out of this is if we do drop points and we open the door for Arsenal, have Arsenal got the ability to now walk through that door at a tough place like St. James's Park, or would they struggle? That's what needs to be found out. That's it, folks. Quick little preview there. We broke down the teams for you. We gave our thoughts and our predictions and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully the Reds can get it done. I will be back on Monday with the Monday mashup with Mark. Or Wednesday next week for Pro Wrestling Weekly, because Tuesday we'll be covering Liverpool Galatasaray in the Champions League. And then Thursday, as always, with Darren. And then we're back into again. These weeks are flying by at the moment. Game week 6 already coming right at you. As I said, folks, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, and drop a like on the video. And head over. Make sure you're subbing to Warren's, and make sure you're subbing to Jack's Red Rain as well. Give them all your support. Up the top of the table, Reds. Let's keep this going. Cheers, folks.